Imagine having a superpower that allows you to understand others deeply, to feel their pain, and to connect on a level most people can only dream of. Now imagine that same superpower slowly eating away at your own identity, draining your energy and leaving you vulnerable to those who take advantage. Welcome to the world of the INFJ, where empathy is both a blessing and a curse. Today, we're diving deep into the intricate world of the INFJ personality type. NFJs, or introverted intuitive feeling judgers, are often praised for their deep understanding of human nature. They're the ones who can walk into a room and immediately sense the emotional atmosphere. They're the friends who always seem to know exactly what you need, sometimes before you even realize it yourself. But what happens when this incredible gift becomes too much to bear? When does the INFJ's empathy cross the line from a superpower to a liability? Before we start, please hit the like button, comment, and subscribe so you won't miss any of our weekly deep dives into the world of personality types. And if you are unsure if you are an INFJ, click the link in the comments to take our favorite free personality test. Now let's dive in, starting with liability number 1, the double-edged sword of INFJ empathy. At the core of the INFJ's empathic abilities lies their uncanny talent for mirroring. Like emotional chameleons, INFJs have the ability to adapt to different people and situations with ease. They can get on another person's level like no other personality type, intuitively sensing what others want and expect. This mirroring isn't just surface-level mimicry. INFJs absorb the emotions and energies of those around them, often to the point where they struggle to distinguish between their own feelings and those of others. It's as if they're living in a constant state of emotional osmosis, with feelings flowing freely between themselves and the world around them. While this ability can lead to deep connections and understanding, it also comes with a hefty price tag. INFJs don't just pick up on the emotions of others, they internalize them. And unfortunately, it's often much easier to absorb negative feelings than positive ones. This can leave INFJs feeling like emotional sponges, soaking up the world's pain and carrying it with them. Liability. Number 2, personal consequences for INFJs. As INFJs navigate life with their empathic radar always on, they often find themselves facing some serious personal challenges. One of the most significant is the struggle with their own identity. When you're constantly adapting to others and absorbing their emotions, it can be hard to know where they end and you begin. Many INFJs report feeling lost when they don't have someone to reflect. They've become so accustomed to mirroring others that they struggle to connect with their authentic selves. It's as if they're actors who've played so many roles that they've forgotten who they are off stage. This identity crisis often leads to emotional exhaustion. INFJs are constantly processing not just their own feelings, but the feelings of everyone around them. It's like running an emotional marathon every single day. And in their focus on understanding and helping others, INFJs often neglect their own emotional needs. Relationships can become particularly tricky terrain for INFJs. Their deep empathy can lead to over-attachment to their partner's needs, creating imbalances in their relationships. They might find themselves always putting their partner first, to the point where their own needs are constantly on the back burner. Even worse, their kindness and understanding nature can sometimes attract individuals who are all too happy to take advantage of their empathic gifts. Liability. Number 3, social and professional impacts. The INFJ's empathic abilities don't just affect their personal life. They can have significant impacts in social and professional spheres as well. Paradoxically, the INFJ's ability to adapt to different people can sometimes lead to mistrust. Others might perceive them as inauthentic or wonder if there's an ulterior motive behind their kindness. In the workplace, INFJs often struggle with setting boundaries. Their desire to help and understand others can lead them to take on more than they can handle. This is especially true in helping professions, where INFJs are often drawn but also at high risk for burnout. Perhaps most concerningly, the INFJ's empathy can make them vulnerable to manipulation. Their desire to understand and help others combined with their difficulty in saying no, can make them appear as easy targets for those with less than honorable intentions. INFJs might find themselves in situations where their empathy is being exploited before they even realize what's happening. Liability. Number 4, the empathy assertiveness dilemma. One of the biggest challenges INFJs face is the conflict between their deep empathy and the need for self-advocacy. INFJs often struggle to stand up for their own needs, fearing that doing so might hurt others' feelings. They can find themselves caught in a loop of understanding others so well that they neglect their own desires and boundaries. This dilemma can lead to a lot of internal conflict. INFJs know logically that they need to take care of themselves. But emotionally, the thought of potentially causing discomfort to others can be paralyzing. It's a constant tug-of-war between empathy and self-care, and many INFJs find themselves losing ground. Strategies for balancing empathy. So, what's an INFJ to do? How can they harness the power of their empathy without letting it overwhelm them? The key lies in balance and self-awareness. First and foremost, INFJs need to develop a strong sense of self-awareness. This means learning to recognize the difference between their own emotions and those they're absorbing from others. It's about understanding where their emotional boundaries lie and learning to maintain them. Setting intentional boundaries is crucial. This doesn't mean shutting off their empathy. That would be like asking them to stop breathing. Instead, it's about being mindful of when and how they use their empathic abilities. It's okay to not absorb everyone's emotions all the time. Self-care is non-negotiable for INFJs. This means allocating time for their own needs, even if it feels selfish at first. It means learning to say no when necessary, understanding that they can't pour from an empty cup. Self-care isn't selfish. It's essential for INFJs to be able to continue helping others in a sustainable way. INFJs should also work on cultivating authentic self-expression. This might involve gradually revealing more of their true personality rather than always adapting to others. It's about finding a balance between their natural mirroring tendencies and their unique individuality. Finding like-minded individuals who appreciate depth can be incredibly validating for INFJs. When they're around people who understand and value their empathic nature, INFJs can feel more comfortable being their authentic selves. Reframing INFJ empathy as a strength. While we focused a lot on the challenges of INFJ empathy, it's important to remember that it is, at its core, an incredible strength. The key is learning to use it intentionally and selectively rather than letting it control you. INFJs have the ability to understand others on a level that most people can only dream of. They can create deep, meaningful connections and offer insights that can be truly transformative. When balanced with self-care and boundaries, INFJ empathy can be a powerful force for good in the world. It's about finding that sweet spot where empathy enriches your life and the lives of others, without depleting your own resources. It's about recognizing that your empathy is a gift, but one that needs to be managed wisely. As we've explored today, INFJ empathy is a complex and powerful force. It can be a liability when it's allowed to run unchecked, leading to identity confusion, emotional exhaustion, and vulnerability to manipulation. But when it's balanced with self-awareness, boundaries, and self-care, it becomes an incredible strength. To all the INFJs out there, your empathy is not a weakness. It's a superpower that, when harnessed correctly, can bring immense value to your life and the lives of those around you. The key is learning to use it wisely, to balance it with self-care, and to recognize its value without letting it overwhelm you. And to those who have INFJs in their lives, appreciate the depth of understanding they bring to your relationship. Recognize the effort it takes for them to navigate the world with such heightened empathy and support them in maintaining healthy boundaries. Remember, in the end, INFJ empathy is a gift. Like any powerful tool, it needs to be used with care and intention. But when it is, it has the potential to transform not just individual relationships, but the world at large. So to all you empathic souls out there, keep shining your light. The world needs your understanding, your insight, and your compassion. Just remember to save some of that beautiful empathy for yourselves too.